Hello. We are beginning something new tonight. This is the first story in a new series, Soft Weather. Each story in this series is about a kind of weather. The rain, the fog, the grey and gentle days when the sky comes low and the world slows down and the air itself seems to ask you to rest. Tonight's story is called The Rain Has Been Falling Since Before You Woke, which means exactly what it says. The rain outside, wherever outside is for you tonight, has been falling for longer than your evening. It was there before the day ended. It was there, probably, before the day began. It is one of those rains that does not announce itself and does not perform. It simply falls at its own pace for its own reasons, without consulting you. And it will be falling when you fall asleep tonight and after, before we begin. If this helps you sleep, a subscription means there'll always be somewhere quiet to return to. And when you wake, if you'd like to leave a comment, what time it is, or where in the world you're listening from tonight, I'd love to know. Is it raining there? Now, let everything go still. The rain is already falling. It has been for a while. The rain has been falling since before you woke. This morning, whenever your morning was, you came to consciousness into a world where the rain was already present. It was not new when you heard it. It had been there through the dark hours, through the hours before the light, through whatever time it is that is neither night nor morning, but simply the long middle of a night that has not yet decided to be over. The rain was there then, and it is here now. This is one kind of rain, the kind that doesn't arrive with drama, that doesn't begin in a sudden downpour that makes you look up from what you are doing and say, oh, it is raining. This rain began too quietly and too gradually for that. At some point in the previous hours, the air became saturated enough, the temperature dropped enough, the conditions aligned in whatever way the conditions align when rain becomes inevitable. And the rain began, quietly, without announcement, and it has been going since then. Think about what the rain has been through today. It was falling when the first light came, that thin grey light that rain days have, different from the light of clear days, softer, more diffuse, the light that filters through cloud cover and arrives at the earth with its edges taken off. It was falling during the morning, when the world was doing its morning things, the sounds of a day beginning, the movements of people going about their early business in the wet. It was falling at midday, when the grey was at its most complete. The middle of a rainy day has a particular quality, a settled greyness that is not depressing so much as thorough. It commits. The day commits to being a rainy day, and the rainy day commits to being exactly as grey and wet and persistent as it is, without apology and without any indication of when it might stop. It was falling in the afternoon, when the light began to change again, not brighter, not clearer, but different, the particular change that afternoon rain has, a slight shift in the quality of the grey that tells you the day is moving on, even though nothing else seems to be. It was falling when the evening came, and it is falling now. You have been inside it all day, or almost all day, inside in the sense of being indoors, of having been on the dry side of the glass, the warm side of the walls, the sheltered side of the roof. The rain has been outside all of that time. doing its steady work on the pavements and the gardens and the rooftops and the roads and the fields, on all the surfaces that the rain reaches when it reaches everything, and you have been warm and dry and inside. That contrast, which is so ordinary on a rainy day that it barely registers, is part of what makes rain so useful as a companion to sleep. The rain marks out the boundary between outside and inside. It makes the outside emphatically, audibly outside, and it makes the inside, wherever you are, whatever room you are in, emphatically inside, contained, separate, dry. The sound of rain on a roof is the sound of that boundary being confirmed. Again and again, each drop a small confirmation. You are in here. The rain is out there. The roof is between you and it. The walls are between you and it. Everything that should be dry is dry, and everything that should be wet is wet, and the arrangement is correct and working as intended. This kind of rain has a particular relationship with time, not the relationship that showers have with time. Showers are brief, they begin and end within a known duration. They have a beginning and a middle and an end that you can wait for. This rain is not like that. This rain has already outlasted the category of shower. It has been going long enough that the question of when it will stop has become, for now, irrelevant. It is not stopping soon. The sky is committed. The clouds are committed. The whole weather system that produced this rain is committed to continuing for as long as the atmospheric conditions sustain it, which is not something you can know or predict or do anything about. So you can stop waiting for it to stop. That is one of the gifts of this kind of rain. It releases you from the waiting. A shower keeps you waiting. Waiting for the gap in the clouds. Waiting for the brightness that means it is over. Waiting to go out. Waiting to get on with whatever the rain interrupted. This rain does not ask you to wait. It has been going too long for waiting to be a meaningful response to it. It has simply become the condition of the day. The way temperature is the condition of the day, or the light, not an event to be waited through, but a quality to be inside of. You are inside of it. You have been inside of it all day, and tonight you will sleep inside of it. Breathe in. The air of this room, warmer than the air outside, drier, carrying the particular smell of a room that has been inhabited and warmed and lived in while the rain came down outside. It is the air of the inside. It belongs to here. Breathe out. The rain continues. It does not require your breath. It does not require anything from you. It is simply continuing, as it has been continuing all day, at whatever rate the clouds have decided to release it, for whatever duration the weather system intends. You are inside it, not in the rain, in the day that the rain has made, in the inside of a rainy day, which is its own particular kind of place. Rain changes the world it falls on, not dramatically, not in the way that a storm changes things, not with the violence of heavy weather. This rain, the rain that has been falling since before you woke, is not violent. It is persistent, which is a different quality. Persistence changes things differently from violence. Persistence works by accumulation. Small change, added to small change, over enough time, producing a result that no single drop contributed to, but all of them produced together. The ground outside is thoroughly wet, not just damp, not the damp of a recent shower that will dry in an hour. Thoroughly, completely, deeply wet. The soil has absorbed as much as it can absorb, and the rest is sitting on the surface, or running slowly downhill toward the drains and the gutters and the streams and the rivers that will carry it eventually to the sea. The grass, if there is grass, is flattened slightly by the accumulation of drops on each blade. The leaves of whatever trees or plants are outside are heavy with water, droplets sitting on their surfaces, running along their stems, dripping from their edges. Everything outside is carrying its share of the rain, and inside, nothing is. Inside is dry. Inside is warm. Inside is the particular quality that a home or a room has on a rainy day. Slightly more itself than usual, slightly more defined, the contrast with the wet outside making the dry inside more present, more noticed, more clearly a shelter rather than simply a space. You have been in this shelter all day, or if not all day, then for long enough that the shelter has had time to work on you. The way that being indoors on a wet day works on people, gradually, without your choosing it. The combination of the sound of rain and the warmth of the room, and the reduced light and the sense of enclosure, producing something that would be called coziness, if that word were not so small for what it actually describes. What it actually describes is this: the body's response to the conditions of safety, warmth, shelter, the sounds of weather outside, the knowledge that you are on the right side of the elements. The body recognizes these conditions and responds to them in the way it has always responded, by beginning, very gradually, to release the readiness that it maintains during the day, by softening, by becoming more itself and less its public-facing version. You have been becoming more yourself today. The rain outside has been helping. The sound of rain is one of the oldest sounds the body uses as a signal. Shelter found. Conditions outside are unsuitable for movement. This is a time for rest. The body has been using this signal for longer than it has been a human body. The ancestors of the body, the creatures that were warm-blooded and sheltered from weather long before they were people, they used this signal too. The sound of rain on leaves, on rock, on whatever surface was above their shelter, telling them, stay, rest. The outside does not need you right now. The outside does not need you right now. This is still true. Whatever is happening in the wet world outside your window, the rain falling on the pavements, on the cars, on the gardens and the bins and the roads, none of it needs your presence or your attention. It is all managing very well without you, as it has been managing all day. The rain does not require supervision. The wet does not require management. The gutters are doing their job. The drains are doing their job. The soil is doing its job of absorbing and releasing, and all of it is happening on the other side of your walls, with no input required from you. Rain has particular effects on sound. It does not simply add its own sound. It also changes the quality of the sounds that already exist. Rain absorbs some frequencies of ambient sound, particularly the higher frequencies of distant noise, the sounds that come from far away and lose their edge in the rain. A rainy day is acoustically softer than a clear day. The sounds that remain are closer, more interior, the sounds of the room, the sounds of the building, the sound of the rain itself. It creates a kind of acoustic shelter. Inside the rain's acoustic shelter, the world sounds smaller and closer and more manageable. The distance between you and the things that made you anxious during the day is increased, not because they have moved, but because the rain has softened the sounds that carry anxiety, that carry urgency, that carry the sense of things happening elsewhere that you should be attending to. The rain has been doing this all day, softening the acoustic world, making the inside more distinct from the outside, wrapping the room and its occupant in a layer of sound that is continuous and calming and entirely uninstructive. It does not tell you to do anything. It does not indicate urgency. It says only it is raining, which you already knew, which requires nothing. Outside the world is wet and grey, and the rain falls on it without favour, on the beautiful things and the ugly things, on the important and the unimportant, on the things you were worried about today, and the things that went well. The rain falls on all of it equally, covering it all in the same grey wet, levelling it. And in here, none of that. Just the room, just the warmth, just the rain on the other side of everything. You have been released from the outside. The rain has done that. The rain, by making the outside thoroughly and persistently inhospitable to comfortable movement, has given you permission to be fully inside, to be completely in here, to let the outside be outside, and to occupy the inside with your full presence, which means with your weight and your warmth and your breath, and the gradually increasing stillness that comes when a person is in a warm room on a rainy day and has nothing particular to go out for. You have nothing particular to go out for. The rain is out there. You are in here. That is the correct arrangement for this hour. The room has its own character on a rainy day. Every room does. Every room has more than one version of itself. The version it presents in clear weather, and the version it becomes when the light changes and the rain comes. The rainy day version is lower, softer, more interior. The light that comes through the windows on a rainy day is grey and diffuse, without the edges that sunlight gives to things, without the shadows. Everything in the room is evenly lit in a way that makes it all seem equally present, equally part of the same indoor world. The room you are in has become its rainy day self, whatever its character in other weather, however it is on bright mornings, on sunny afternoons, on clear evenings. It is different now. It is the colour of overcast sky and the sound of falling water and the particular warmth that a room accumulates when it has been closed against the rain for hours. Look at it, or simply know it is there. The walls, whatever colour they are slightly more present on a grey day, more themselves, less competing with light and shadow. The surfaces of things are matte rather than reflective, the rain light taking the shine off everything and leaving a kind of even plainness that is its own form of beauty. There is something on the window, or there is a window, and on the other side of it, the rain. You may be able to hear the rain on the glass, a different sound from rain on the roof. more individual, each drop arriving at the glass with its own small sound, slightly sharper than the continuous rush of rain on tiles or slates. The window is the thinnest part of the boundary between inside and outside. The glass is very close to the rain, and yet you are on the other side of it. Everything you need is in this room. The warmth is here. The dry air is here. The surface that supports you is here. Whatever covers you is here. The rain is on the other side of the glass, on the other side of the walls, doing its patient work on everything outside. And you are entirely separated from all of that by the simple fact of being indoors. The room is holding you, as it has been holding you all day, receiving your warmth, absorbing your presence, providing the shelter that rooms are made to provide. You and the room have been in this arrangement for hours. You have been inside it, and it has been around you. And the rain has been outside both of you. And the three-way relationship of rain, room, and person is one of the most ancient arrangements there is. People have been inside rooms while it rained outside since there have been rooms. Before rooms, they were inside caves, inside shelters made of whatever was available. Before shelters, they were whatever their ancestors were, clustered under trees or rock overhangs, listening to the rain fall around them and taking from that sound the same comfort that you are taken from it now. The rain is very old, and you are inside it, in the way that the very first sheltering creatures were inside it. On the dry side, listening to it fall. The light in the room at this hour has taken on the quality of the whole day. A room at the end of a rainy day has a particular light, or rather, a particular dimness. The grey that the overcast sky has maintained all day has been absorbed into the room gradually, the way rain day light is absorbed. And now that the evening has come, and whatever additional light there was has been further reduced, the room is dim in a way that is different from the dimness of other evenings. It is a thorough dimness, a complete dimness, a dimness that has been built up over many hours rather than arriving quickly with the sunset. The room has been growing into this dimness all day, and you have been growing into it too. Your eyes have adjusted continuously and imperceptibly as the light in the room has changed. By now, the level of light is appropriate for where you are in the evening, which is at the end of it, at the point where the day has completed itself and the night has taken over, at the point where the room should be dim and the body should be heavy and the rain should be the primary sound in the world. The rain is the primary sound in the world tonight. Everything else, whatever sounds exist in the distance, whatever the night contains beyond the rain, is secondary to the rain, which is closer, which is more continuous, which has been here longer and will be here after everything else has stopped. You are in the company of the most persistent sound in the world tonight. Rain falling on your roof, on your window, on everything outside, and you are inside, all of it, which is exactly where you should be. Your body knows this comfort. It has been knowing it since long before your particular body existed. The comfort of rain outside, shelter inside, is in the architecture of the nervous system, in the way the sound of steady rain tells the body that conditions outside are not requiring attention, that this is a time for the body to attend to itself instead, which is to say, to rest. The body is attending to itself now. You can feel it if you were paying attention, the particular quality of a body that has given itself permission to stop managing the world and start simply being in it. The weight in the limbs, the softness in the face, the breath that has found its own pace without being asked to. The rain is doing this, or the rain is the occasion for this, the condition that makes this possible, that makes the permission available, that tells the body and the mind that tonight is a night for being inside while it rains, which is a night for being still, which is what you are, still, inside, while the rain continues. The rain will be falling when you fall asleep. This is not a prediction that requires any particular confidence. The rain has been falling all day without any indication that it intends to stop. It has been consistent, persistent, entirely committed to its own continuation. There is every reason to believe that when your eyes close and your breathing deepens, and the transition from wakefulness to sleep completes itself, the rain will still be there, still on the roof, still on the window, still on the garden and the pavement and the road and everything else outside that has been receiving it all day. And in the morning, whenever morning comes, whatever time your morning arrives, the rain may still be there then too. Or it may have stopped, having run its course while you were sleeping, having done whatever it came to do and moved on to somewhere else. Either way, it will not have required your permission. It will not have asked whether you were awake to hear it. There is a rhythm to rain that is not quite a rhythm. Not the rhythm of waves, which are regular and cyclical and can be followed. Not the rhythm of a heartbeat, which is metronomic and precise. Rain falls at a rate that appears random, but is statistically consistent. The drops are distributed in time, according to patterns that are not predictable at the level of the individual drop, but are very consistent at the level of the sound they make together. What this produces is a sound that feels continuous, but is actually composed of millions of discrete events, each one a drop of water reaching a surface, the roof, the window, the ground outside, the car, if there is a car, the bin, if there is a bin, the leaves of whatever plants are outside, each surface receiving the rain in its own way, making its own slight contribution to the composite sound that you hear as simply rain. You are not hearing the individual drops. You are hearing all of them together, which produces something that the individual drop could not produce. A continuous, shifting, texturally rich sound that the brain processes not as a series of events, but as a condition, not as things happening, but as something being. The rain, as a sound, is simply being. And that quality of simply being, rather than happening, is part of what makes it so useful for sleep. Events require attention, conditions can be inhabited, and rain, as a sound, has become a condition. You are inside the condition. The rain does not require your wakefulness. This is the thought that the title carries, and it is worth letting in fully. in the way that thoughts are sometimes worth letting in fully before sleep. Not to be analyzed, but to be felt. The rain was here before you woke today. It will be here after you fall asleep tonight. Your wakefulness is not what the rain needs. Your attention is not what sustains it. It sustains itself on the energy of the weather system that produced it, on the accumulated moisture in the clouds above, on whatever atmospheric conditions have conspired to produce this particular rainy day in this particular place. You can stop attending to it, not because it will stop, it will not, but because your attending to it has never been what it needed. The rain has been doing this all day without you. It will do it all night the same way. The rain has a relationship with sleep that goes beyond the merely pleasant. Sleep researchers have found that continuous, low-level sound, the kind that does not vary dramatically, that does not carry information, that does not signal urgency, supports the transition into sleep by giving the auditory processing parts of the brain something to do that does not require the rest of the brain to stay alert. The brain, hearing the rain, registers it and finds nothing in it that requires attention. And in finding nothing requiring attention, it releases attention itself. The rain gives the brain permission to stop listening, not because the brain stops hearing. Hearing continues through most stages of sleep, but the listening, the active attending, the effortful engagement with sound as information, that stops. And when it stops, the rest of the waking mind tends to follow. The listening was one of the last things holding the day open. When it goes, the day closes. The rain has been working toward this all evening. Every drop a small contribution to the permission. Every minute of continuous sound, another minute of the brain finding nothing to attend to. Another minute of the listening becoming lighter. Another minute closer to the moment when the listening becomes simply presence. And presence becomes simply warmth. And warmth becomes simply dark, and dark becomes sleep. You are very close to that moment. Let your attention go. The breath is slowing. Each breath a little longer than the last, a little less effortful. The body adjusting to the evening depth that it always adjusts to when the conditions are right. And the conditions are right tonight. The rain outside, the warmth inside, the sound that has been there all day, becoming the sound that is simply the texture of the night. In, the breath in, slow and full, out, long, easy. The way breathing out is easy when there is nothing to brace against. The pause, the still space between the out-breath and the next in-breath. The space that is longer now than it was an hour ago, longer than it has been all day. The space that is the beginning of sleep. Not sleep itself, but the territory just before it, where the breath is doing its work and the mind is doing less than its usual work, and the body has given up most of what it carries in the day. The rain fills the pause. It is always there, in the pause, in the space between breaths, the continuous sound of water falling on the outside world, patient and undemanding, present in the way that only continuous things are present. You have been awake inside this rain all day. Now you are going to be asleep inside it. The rain will not notice the difference. The body is very warm in the rain's company. Not warm because of the rain. The rain is cold outside, doing the cold, wet work of rain. Warm because of the room, because of the covering, because of the body's own heat, which it has been producing quietly all day and will continue to produce all night, keeping itself at exactly the temperature it needs to be. Move through the body, slowly. The head, heavy, resting wherever it rests. The rain is on the roof above it, on the window beside it. The head is inside all of that, warm and dry and held. The forehead, smooth. No concentration there tonight. The muscles that furrow the brow during the day, when the day is asking things. They have nothing to furrow for now, the eyes, closed or nearly. The rain is outside the window, the eyes are inside, behind their lids, warmth and dark. The jaw, soft. The lower jaw at its natural rest, the weight of it gently downward. The sound of the rain enters here, through the ear, but felt in the jaw too, in the bones, in the way that continuous sound becomes part of the body after long enough. The neck, not working, not holding, released to whatever is behind it. The rain has been falling at the same rate long enough that the neck no longer needs to brace for any variation in it. The shoulders, low. The rain has been doing this to the shoulders all day. Every rainy day, the shoulders find their way lower than they are on dry days. Something about the sound, the constancy of it. Something about the permission the rain gives. The arms, both of them, heavy and warm. The weight of each arm entirely given over, not waiting, not ready, simply present in the warm room while the rain does its work outside. The hands, warm, still. The rain falls outside them. They are inside, dry, doing nothing, which is exactly the right thing to be doing. The chest, rising and falling with the breath, rising with the breath in, very slowly, falling with the breath out, very slowly. The rain falls with its own rhythm, not the same as the breath, not synchronized, but in the same family of slow and continuous things. The stomach, released, not held, just there, soft and warm, inside the room, inside the rain. The back, all of it, given over to what holds it, every muscle of the back at its minimum tension, the spine in its natural curve, the rain on the roof above, the warmth below, the back in between, resting, the legs, long and heavy, both of them, fully surrendered, the rain outside, the legs inside, the long night ahead for both of them, the feet, at the end of everything, warm, still. The rain will fall on everything outside all night. The feet will be warm inside all night. The whole body, from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet, warm, dry, inside, while the rain falls outside as it has been falling, as it will go on falling. The body does not need to do anything about the rain. The body can simply rest in the sound of it, which is what the body is doing. Right now, resting. The rain has been falling since before you woke. It will be falling after you sleep. You are somewhere in the middle of it, in the warm middle, the dry middle, the inside of a rainy day that has been going on long enough to have become simply the quality of the world. Not an event, not a weather system, just rain, just the way things are today and tonight, and through the dark hours ahead. The rain does not know you are here. It falls without knowing anything. It falls because the conditions produced it. It falls on your roof and your window and everything outside with complete indifference to your presence. Not hostile indifference, not cold indifference, just the ordinary indifference of weather to the people who are inside it. And that indifference is a gift. You do not need to respond to the rain. You do not need to do anything about it. It requires nothing from you. It will continue without your participation. It has been continuing without your participation all day. Your breath is very slow. In, the rain falls. Out, the rain falls. A long pause, the rain falls. In again. Your thoughts, if there are thoughts, are very quiet. Not gone. Just quiet. Rain, quiet. The kind of quiet that comes when the sound outside is continuous, and the room is warm, and the body has released the last of what it was holding. The rain has been holding the world outside, in its grey, wet, patient way, all day. The room has been holding you in its warm, dry, quiet way, all day. And now the night is holding both of them, the rain outside, you inside, the long dark hours ahead, in which the rain will continue, and you will sleep, and neither of you will need the other to do anything differently. This is the arrangement. It is a very good arrangement. Sleep now. The rain will be here when you wake, as it was when you woke this morning, as it has always been, on these days when the rain comes and stays, patient, continuous, asking nothing, just falling, as it was before you, as it will be after. Just the rain. And you, inside it, asleep.